Evening, Eddie.
Hey, can you hear me? Did I get back
There he
on?
is. Yeah, you're with us.
Good evening, everybody. I pop on and off, had to talk with you folks on the phone. Good evening. Nice to see y'all.
Good evening.
Hey, I'm going to give you a warning, Brenda. If you go to one of the major retailers and ask them how to make a mortise, and they tell you, ask them to show you. Because I had a lady in New Jersey call me. They drew it out backwards for her. And,
Really?
and she couldn't figure out why it was popping out. We did it by FaceTime, and I thought she fixed it, went past the SKU.
Ah, well, you know what? I got a hold of Johnny Hughes, and he showed me a picture of the right way and the wrong way to do it. You know, different. I thought I had the angled. You know, the tapered. Mine's not tapered. It's straight up with the like a ring around the top with threads here. And I was making a tapered. No, I don't need tapered. I need straight. So the diagram that Johnny showed me, when I seen that, you know that commercial on TV, the shingles commercial, where that lady says, "What?" That's how
Yeah.
when I seen that, I'm like, "What? No wonder I keep losing bowls."
Yeah,
I'm
are you
really glad I
using-
don't watch TV sometimes.
want to go to, and they got an insurance company here in town, and the guy, every person he interviews has got a brand new motorcycle in front of them. Like, you know, it's not a prop, it's what they were on. I want to get in there to represent me, that's for sure.
Yeah. Mm.
All right, folks are lining up here. Oh, I see Donald from Australia's in. Martin's in.
Hi, Eddie.
I hope we're still rocking and rolling here. I mean, it's early, but everybody wants to chat every week. Hello.
Hey, I managed to talk Ron Campbell into showing up this week. So I don't know if he'll actually make it because he says he'll log in if the phone ever stops ringing. But we'll see.
Good, good. Everybody's welcome. See Dick Stores in there. Wow, John Brown joined us.
Evening, boss man.
I'm looking through the list here.
All of a sudden I have I don't know why, but all of a sudden I got a bunch of pencils here. You need some. You were looking for pencils.
Okay,
like,
turn
all
off
of a
the
sudden I-
audio if you're going to chat in the background.
Yeah. Oh, I
That's why we couldn't find it. You were bored.
kind of, sorta.
Welcome to Job Connection. UFA is hiring experienced consumer services specialists to deliver.
You guys can mute him. Co-host can mute him. Huck Joe.
Williams Foods in Lenexa is having a job fair November 11th from 9 to 7 and November 12th from 9 to 3. Hiring for second and
Go host me and I'll fix it.
warehouse positions, packers, and maintenance technicians. 10,000 Marshall Drive, Lenexa. Look for Job Connection at kctv5.com.
Life changes home care is here during all families' time of need.
Hey, I got some good news this week.
Illness or effects of COVID-19, and you are
What's that, Eddie?
or have someone
I
in
could
mind.
shave.
Hey, that's all right.
That's critical, man.
That was driving me crazy. Look, I love the military. I'm a veteran. I think everything's great. I gave up all that close cut and all that a long time ago until I had to wear a hard hat every day. So we got to a little bit better cut, and if I can shave, this horse collar doesn't bother me as bad, which is really good.
You're looking good, Eddie.
Oh, thank you. I don't hear that a lot. Everybody's been turning this week, right?
Hey, Mick. Yeah.
No,
No.
I've been trying to get my house cleaned out to put it on the market to sell. So I didn't have any time to turn anything.
One of my best friends in the world is selling his house and buying a motorhome and going to tour the world. I'm so jealous of him, but he can't take a big lathe with him.
This is the one I did last week. This is the one I did today.
Ooh.
Cool.
I'll spotlight you in a little while, but that looks nice.
Yeah, it's silver maple. I really like how the bark and stuff really turns out on these.
Question. According to psychologists, the best day of the week to ask your boss for a raise is when?
Hello, whoever's got the TV playing in the background, please mute it.
I think it's Huck Joe. Oh, maybe not. Okay.
Hey, Eddie.
Hello.
Hey, you know that the ornament you got pictured there that I did?
Yeah.
You know, I remember I told you that I gave it to a customer,
Yes, you did.
and she was actually my only customer that day of craft show I did that weekend, and contacted me. She had actually bought a ice cream paddle and something else, and I gave her the ornament, right? She contacted me this week and said that she loves her ice cream paddle, but she wants 5 more.
That's nice.
So I'm gonna be making some ice cream paddles this week.
Hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
That is, I just saw he was in there in a lineup and I don't see him anymore. The name that you mentioned. Can't get my mouse to come back up here. I got to get Dane in here. All right, we got Dane coming in. Who is Galaxy A10e?
Sounds like a cell phone.
Yeah, he can put his name in there, or she can put her name in there. Well, I don't want to be a sexist today.
Nah, he was here last week. I remember that.
Okay.
There he is.
Ronald Campbell. Ronald Campbell.
Hi, Eddie.
Hey. That's Dane, correct?
The time change got me again. I tried logging on an hour ago and I'm like, what the heck?
David is adjusting our website page for the website link to have a time thing on it, so you know how to get on. Oh, David, I just read it and I can't remember it.
I saw that today, Eddie. I think that's a great idea. It says like in 80 minutes or something like that. I think that's a fantastic idea. I saw that. There's never any doubt that way.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for to help everybody get in. Galaxy A10e. Put your name in the ID, please.
Right-click your picture and rename.
I have a request for everybody that's checked the website. I'm pretty sure it works in the United States, but if you're someplace else, not in North or South America, I'm afraid it's going to say the wrong day. So if someone in the UK or other area would check to make sure that the date it displays is adjusted to the right date, I'd appreciate it.
I can tell you that when I went onto the website tonight, the first thing I thought is that man is so quick, because I only mentioned it last week. And not only have you managed to put a time up there with a countdown to the meeting, you've even managed to get it so that it recognizes I'm in the UK and it tells me what time in the UK it starts.
Great. I wanted to make sure I checked on that because I was afraid it wasn't going to work.
Well, it has, and it does.
Great.
And it's great.
How about Donald in Australia? Donald, did you go there? Pardon me?
Yeah, I went there and it was right. It was the the right time countdown and right time for the meeting. Local time here.
Great,
They'll
great.
think I'm joking when you say we got a genius IT man, but there he is.
It has one mistake that I've got to fix tomorrow. Don't go looking right at 4:30. Suddenly you'll find out the next meeting is next week and we didn't have the meeting this week. It
Oh, okay.
immediately, as soon as this meeting starts, assumes you want to know what the next meeting is. I need to put it in a bit of a delay so that it waits at least 2 hours before it advertises the next meeting.
That's like the voicemail on my telephone. I gotta have it because of my business, but I hate that damn thing. Pardon me. My wife has kept me busy this week. I'm not permitted to ride in a car, but she's taken me to doctors and hospital 3 times. And she takes the most bumpy road to get there. I guess it's a test of what's going on. But she gave me a haircut this morning. I can't fight too much. Hey, Kim, you with us? Thought I saw Kim up on the screen.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I was trying to find the unmute button.
Good. Welcome this week. I know you were under weather last week. Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, tonight we got that storm, so hopefully my internet will stay connected and our power will stay on. So, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, welcome, welcome.
Eddie, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm looking to see where your name went.
Okay. Hey, look, I got a flu shot yesterday, and I'm kind of feeling under the weather this evening, so I'm going to be on, but I'm just going to be kicked back.
Okay. Well, it's a new Jeopardy, in case you're wondering.
All right, all right, pardon.
Say, feel better, buddy.
All right.
Hey, Ronnie, later on, can we talk about Saturday morning? Not now.
Oh, okay. All right.
In 5 minutes is when we'll stop the show and the scroll, and we can do a little gallery and all. I see our gallery manager, Dane, is here. Martin's here from UK. He helps with co-hosting. Matt Harbor's in as a host because he's going to do a demo, and we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. He's like we want other members to jump in to be a demonstrator. Well, he just jumped in. See what else I got here. The machines aren't automatic entry, so if you're coming in, welcome. If you're a new member, very much welcome. If you're an old member, hang on. And if you want to share something, wait till we crank the meeting at 6:30. Last week, we ran until 9:30. And that was all Doug the Woodturner's fault. And I haven't seen him sign in yet, so I can say that. So, you know, a lot of names have sent in photographs this month. I want to thank you. I put some of them in the spread tonight. A couple I got late. I didn't get to finish putting the names in and all, but I'll take care of that. And it will go in the newsletter with your name. And that newsletter goes to our website. So it's all there for everybody to see. And this is your chance to show off your best work, the best work in the world, and your chance to get some comments from other members. But you remembered the rule. This is a no but program. You cannot say, I like that but. Nope, you don't get the button. There's no negatives here, none at all. We have Trey coming in this evening to do a primary demonstration at 7 o'clock. And I hope, I'm looking for Jeff right now to see if he's in yet. Nope, I see, I thought I did this already. I got to click on Mr. Hughes and get him in here in the mix. Johnny, looks like you dodged a bullet this week again. Did I get the right guy? I thought I did. Yeah. Okay, Johnny had another hurricane bearing down on him, just like we did, and it turned east. Oh, that's the one Kim's talking about, isn't it?
Do you know what we don't have up here in Michigan?
Yeah.
We don't have hurricanes.
No, but you have snowstorms like no place else in the world.
Yeah, you can keep your snow. I'll take my hurricanes any day. I'm
We
too
ain't got no
skinny
snow
for
yet.
snow.
It was 70 degrees yesterday, 75 degrees.
And now tell them what it is today, Doug. Tell them what it is today.
40.
Yeah, my wind chill's 31.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, it was 40 today. I mean, yeah, the wind chill's taking it down. But yeah, it was 75 yesterday.
Right. I was turning in my shop in a t-shirt.
80 degrees on the Outer Banks.
It was
Yeah,
74.
it's like, it is muggy and hot as heck, and we got rain like crazy. So.
We need snow by Sunday. Much easier to find a deer in the snow.
Oh,
No, no snow. No, none at all.
All I see is rain in the forecast, dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm
37 and rain Saturday night.
I got
Agree, Kim. Snow's a 4-letter word.
I agree.
I had a friend of
Only
mine
thing
who
is,
calls
I don't
it.
have to drive in it no more, so.
I had a friend of mine who
either,
calls
though.
it snur, S-N-E-R-R, because she won't say the word.
Sure. It's a 4-letter S word.
Well, I got 4 Malamutes and they love it. So
You know, I got a couple of those too, similar.
yeah, you do. You do.
Actually, snow stands for stuff no one.
That's what I was just trying to remember what that was the acronym to.
Hey guys, I you know, I love it. I you know, I don't have any complaints. I don't even mind driving in it because it's interesting. It's pretty, you know. I love
I
it.
used to live about 2 hours south of Kim. And I could not take the heat down there. I lived Fort Myers, and I moved back up here.
The heat isn't as bad as the mugginess.
The humidity, we have the humidity here too, though, because we're surrounded by water also.
Yeah, if it was just warm outside, that'd be fine. But when you go outside and you feel like your lungs are filling up full of hot, boiling water, that, like, yeah. I had a
That's why I
guy that, Augie, he messaged me and he says he's on his way down here to deliver some coaches, and he messaged me. He's like, "How do you handle the humidity? Like, literally, as soon as you hit the Florida line." He's
We moved
complaining.
north, that's how.
Yeah.
I lived in Boca for 2 years, and basically the way I handled it is I just spent as much time as I could in it and got acclimated. You know, maybe I know people who don't ever get acclimated, but you know, it's harsh. So
I live about 25 miles north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it was 78 on Wednesday.
Yeah, we had 75-ish, 76 yesterday, and yeah, and like
Yeah,
Matt said, we're 40 today. You know,
Where I live, it's right now it was 60 something today, but a good bit of rain. Tomorrow's to be nice again in the high middle 60s.
When I was in the Air Force, I got stationed. I got moved from training to Denver, Colorado, Lowry, and I'm living in South Louisiana. I've been here my whole life. It was culture shock. We left Texas where it was hot, drove to Denver, and it snowed on us when we got there in October.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have any need for it again.
hey, I've been
One time
skiing. I've been skiing in the mountains outside of Colorado in second week in May. So, you know, there was plenty of snow then too. So
I watched people ski in May when I was at Lowry.
yeah, Loveland.
I was in Anchorage, Alaska for 18 months in the service, and on 4th of July, I saw fresh snow at the Nike site way up high on the mountainside.
I believe it.
Then when I came back from Vietnam, I got stuck in Wordsmith, Michigan. But no,
I don't even know where that is. Where's that? Where is that, Eddie?
Oscoda. It's
Okay.
up the east shore line of Michigan.
Yep, I know where that is.
There's nothing up there, so it's
Pretty
Well,
country.
you do know, in between Matt and I, there's a city or town called Hell, and it does freeze over every year.
Freeze
does.
over?
Yeah, Hell, Michigan.
Hell
Hell,
freezes
Michigan.
over every year. Hell, Michigan.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I missed that.
They've got this township sign sits in a way that it always, whenever there's freezing rain, it gets like coated in ice. And that's a classic place to have your picture taken, is next to the Hell sign with the ice frozen on it.
It's like out in North Dakota, they have there on Highway 2, Devil's Lake, and the waves freeze on the barrier by the road.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's all right. We still have a town named Christmas in the Upper Peninsula.
There you go.
Yes, we do. Christmas, Michigan. Yes.
So you can stay in the same state and go from hell to Christmas.
Okay, I know our oh man, our gallery master is with us. If you'd like to show something on gallery, put it up on a chat, and then Dean will call you in when it's time, as soon as we clear things up. And anytime you'd like to, give us a holler. I'm trying to go through and make co-hosts out of some guys that help us a lot. And so we're getting sidetracked. There's a lot of folks joining us right now. We're 58.
Hey, Eddie.
Yes, sir.
Hey, before we start, I think we should remember what happened at 11 a.m. some years ago.
I remember.
11/11.
You were there? It was, what was it called back then? Armistice Day.
Armistice Day.
Yeah.
The end of the First World War, which really wasn't the First World War, it was the Second World War. And the Second World War is actually the Third World War. Just didn't name it that way.
All right, so Bruce, what was the First World War then?
French and Indian War. All the countries of power were in the French and Indian War.
Yeah, that was Napoleon's war.
No, that was 100 years before that.
That's
yeah,
right.
sorry.
So
So
the British
remember-
don't call it the French and Indian War. The British call it the 100 Years' War.
Yeah, we should remember all the veterans today, because it's Veterans Day.
I would jump on that also. Bruce, it's for current veterans and former veterans. Unfortunately, there are former veterans.
That is correct. It's for all
but
veterans.
Guess what they do, folks? They protect your freedom. Don't care which way you voted. Don't care what party you're in or anything else. The military protects your freedom. If you can't agree with it, bye. We miss you.
I went to the commissary, and there was a veteran gentleman that was standing outside the commissary doors. They asked me how I was for the day, and if he could read something to me. And I told him I was good, and I'm like, certainly. So he read a nice little decree from safeties and for the basic exchanges and PXs and long commissaries for all the military, and gave me a Veterans Day 2020 challenge coin.
And folks, I'm going to add on to Bruce and Dane and all the other veterans. If you see somebody serving,
Run out of
and they're-
decaf coffee.
whoa, turn off your audio, please. If you see a veteran that's serving or an active military person, buy him a Coke, buy him lunch, go up and just shake their hand and thank them. It all really matters to them. But Vietnam veterans, you know what I'm talking about. We're not going to beat that horse, but you know what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you, Eddie.
You're all welcome. And if you're a veteran, I thank you. And if you just support the veterans, I thank you. I think it's what you have to do. What you should do. Not have to do, but you should do. Dane, we got some challenge pieces, some display pieces up, don't we?
Yes, we do. We got 3 people up. Let me jump over to Brenda here. Let's see.
Some of us know Brenda as Crash.
Be riding late tonight.
Yeah, ready?
There she is.
Start off the evening because it makes me nervous to get on here anyway. So get this over with, then I can relax the rest of the evening, enjoy the rest of the program. But anyway, this week I've been making a yarn bowl, and it's still on the check because I'm not done with it because I'm not finished the inside. And I had the same problem with my chuck this week that I have always had doing bowls, and that is it wouldn't stay on the chuck. I would put it on, tighten it up, tighten it down as tight as I could, and I could push it off, wouldn't tighten down. Well, it was aggravating me, could not figure out why it wouldn't stay tight. So I reached out to a few of the my friends here on the meeting that are on my Facebook. And first of all, I'd like to thank you, Eddie, for organizing this, which gave me the opportunity to get a hold of somebody.
Great.
So reached out to a few of them, and Johnny Hughes ended up getting back with me and explained to me that I was using the wrong mortise, the wrong shape, which was why it wouldn't stay on the chuck. So I'd like to thank the few that I did try to get a hold of. I'd like to thank Johnny Hughes for fixing my problem. And just thank everybody for being here in order to keep this all together. You know, if it wasn't for everybody coming together every week, you know, we wouldn't have a meeting. So all of you.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you so much.
And most of you are veterans, so thank you.
Teriyaki roast.
I appreciate it.
More welcome. More than welcome. You know, folks, when we started this program, turn off your audio if you're going to talk in the background. We had guys say, you can't do weekly. People don't want to do that. You're way overkilling it. I'm sorry, but when you run 3 hours on Wednesday nights, I don't think we're overkilling it.
Right.
All right. Who else you got, Dane?
Billy.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you can. I've got a small piece of sycamore. I don't know if you can see that or not. I've got a bunch of stuff in the middle of my screen.
That's okay. Great spalting. Show us that middle again. Ooh.
It was a piece of wood that got knocked down in the park, and I went and picked it up. I didn't know what it was, and I'd asked some people online, was sycamore a good wood? And it turned really well. And it just happens to be a small crotch, but I wasn't able to get any big pieces, but I've got a bunch of other pieces that I actually made some Christmas ornaments out of. And if you don't put a finish on it, it stays relatively white. So it makes a really, really pretty Christmas ornaments. Plus the price was right. It's got a beautiful, beautiful grain to it. I didn't get it as pretty a finish as I wanted, but it has a Parfex finish on it. I probably should go another coat of it, but it's got a little bit of problems with the finish, but it's a natural edge, so it kind of all fits. But it was fun.
Very nice.
Really
Billy.
pretty, really pretty grain. I love that.
Thank you.
Sycamore is an excellent turning wood.
Yes, it is.
What? I have a yard full of it, so yes.
It's a good carving and burning wood too.
What'd you say?
He showed it.
All right. Hey, Kim, you're up.
All right, so this week's video is going to be this little hollow form that I made with the live edge. I left the bark on it. I don't really care to do finials because I'm not good at them, but I'm not good at them because I don't practice them. So it's one of those things where you got to force yourself to do sometimes to get good at them. I think my disconnect is I can't put the pieces together and turn them together. So being able to vision this and the proportions right for this is hard for me. So anyways, I did have it such a secure fit that I could turn it upside down and the lid would stay, and it kind of does. But it has a nice little pop. I love
Very
that.
nice, Kim. Very nice.
Yeah, nice.
So I don't know what kind of wood it is. I don't know if any of y'all can identify. I got it sent
Looks
to me in
like
the mail by
ornamental cherry.
Yeah, that looks like
I'd
cherry.
say it's cherry.
Cherry.
Okay, so it might be. It turned and finished beautifully. Like I started at 320, no lie, sanding it.
Yeah, one of my
I
favorite
got
woods
such
to
a
turn.
great cut.
Yeah,
I got
I've
such a
turned a
great
lot of
cut.
cherry. It's very nice.
So, anyways, and I
Thank
just
you.
put a tung oil finish on it. I didn't. Yeah, I like the matte look.
Kim, we're shopping around for somebody to do us a demo on finials, because the art to finials, it's almost a necessity. Some folks don't need it. Draw it out on a piece of graph paper. Get your design, get your height, your width, make sure your balls line up. And that's critical. You can't have a big ball in the middle of it to move the lines out. If you can get that shape, it'll do it. But I'm looking for somebody to step up and do it and help us out. But yeah, I mentioned earlier, we got Matt Harper is going to do us a video in a couple of weeks. We have, gotta look at my book here. Paul Hannaby is going to do something for us. Cade volunteered last week, if I remember right. That was at 9:30. And Trey's going to be with us. We're still looking for you, members. You can be a demonstrator. It's not that difficult. We just want you to show us what you do and how you do it. It's not, look what I can do, you can't. It's look what I can do that you can do. That's what we're looking for. Who else you got, Dane?
Let me jump over the wall here.
Hey, Rick. Got this one that I made at the weekend. It's sort of a bowl, I suppose. This is made out of ancient swamp carry. The wood is 20,000 years old.
Whoa!
And that's been carbon dated. It was sent to me from a friend in New Zealand as a rough turn blank, and I turned it and finished it. Right. I turned it about 4 or 5 millimeters thick. I just put in a torch on it. See there, you can see a little bit of translucent coming through. There's a knot somewhere. Let me find it. There you go. So I turned it 4 or 5 millimeters thick, and it's that translucent at that thickness. So I didn't want to go any thinner than that, really. I don't think you would. But it's full of resin, and it was a interesting one to turn. And that was okay as long as I was careful with sharp tools. But the sanding, it just clogs it immediately. So the sanding took quite a bit of effort and a lot of sandpaper, but got there in the end.
Great. Yeah, I know a guy that was there when they planted that tree. Right, Mr. Brown? Were you with them?
All right, Bob.
Okay, I've been turning some birdhouse ornaments this week, and this is one I finished this afternoon. It's ambrosia maple, rosewood, and then maple, little finial on the bottom. And then I've got a couple more that I did. This one's a piece of rosewood. And I get it over here. And a deer antler.
Oh, wow.
I saw that when I showed it off today for you.
Very sharp.
And I've got this one was a piece of Bacote and another piece of the deer antler.
Oh, I have moose antler. I can do that.
I understand now why dentists always wear masks, because this stuff stinks when you hollow it out.
Smells like burning hair, doesn't it?
Kind of like an old meat market, which you can't smell anymore. Yeah.
But that was sort of fun to do. Something I'd never done that before with an antler.
I made some pens out of it one time, and a guy came in and he says, "What's dead in here?"
Dude, it's antler.
Right.
Is that Bruce back with us?
Yes, right here. I have a bowling ball bowl.
Pull it back away from the camera. We can see it better if you pull it back towards you, man. Bruce, there you go.
And then I have another one.
Pull it back. Huh. How about
And
that?
then I have a third one. Now, if you notice, all of the bowling balls have different thicknesses of resin on the outside, which I did not know. And it also, on this particular bowl, I ruined 2 Forstner bits trying to drill in to the ball so I could turn the inside. It just absolutely ruined 2 Forstner bits.
Wow.
They're not ruined, Bruce. You can sharpen them. Just don't touch the ring. Touch the blades, but don't touch the ring on the outside.
I'll send them to you then.
All right. When I get back in the shop, I'll sharpen them up, you?
Eddie
I'll have
actually
to
has a
test them for a couple
video.
years. Say again?
Eddie actually has a video that I learned how to sharpen my Forstner bit because of Eddie's video. So you should go check it out. It was very simple. I bought the same diamond plates and everything we used in that video, and I sharpened mine like that because of how he showed me how to do it. So thank you, Eddie. That you're the reason why I know how to sharpen my Forstner bit.
You're welcome. I got that from my saw shop. I went and asked him, would he sharpen them for me? And he said, sure. And he pulled the diamond stone out and sharpened them and handed it back to me. He says, $20. I didn't pay Jack. Been knowing him 50 years. I didn't pay Jack. So, Matt, you got some show?
Yeah, this is from last week.
Disappeared. The teeth disappeared completely on the Forstner bits. That's how bad they were worn down.
Oh, yeah, you got to break down and go to Harbor Freight or something. You know, it's
Harbor Mist Freight.
Okay.
Silver maple, natural edge goblet. This is from last week.
I like that you let the bottom with the natural edge.
Yeah, it's fun. I was doing them without, and then I thought, I tried a few without, and I tried a new shape on the bottom here, this little sort of OG, and I like it a lot better. So I'm going to try and explore that too. So this one is fun, and this is deeper. This is deeper. It's down in here, so it's pretty deep.
Those are beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. So I did a demo for my club last week on, I don't know, 2 weeks ago maybe, on shifting a natural edge to get a sort of an off-center look to it, and it works for these too. So it's cool.
Great.
Hey, everybody. Can you, whoever is showing their object, put it up to their face, because what you're doing is you're making the camera not be able to focus on anybody.
No,
it won't focus there, but you'll focus on your face. Yeah.
There you go.
Any object, any object that you have, put it by your face because your face is in focus.
Nobody wants that.
Matt, don't put your face close to the camera, Matt. It's okay. Later on this evening, Matt is going to be doing a demonstration for us, and on Lichtenberg.
Yeah, just the little bit we talked about last week, where where we talked about having it follow the wood burning that you do, so you can direct it a little bit. So that's all.
Thank you. We welcome demonstrators. I beat that drum every week because you can be part of this program. You do a demonstration. You can shoot it on your iPhone and email it to us. And we're trying to refine that a little bit so we get larger ones in here. But we'll use it. Or you can put it on your computer and tell us you have it, and we'll do share screen, and it comes on. If you're afraid of talking while you're doing a video, that's okay. You can put it on the screen without the audio and then explain it. Dave Leader's with us right now. Hey, Dave.
Hey, how you guys doing?
All right, sir, what you got?
A friend of mine gave me some Spectra wood.
I'm glad it's ready. I'm glad it's here.
Spectra ply, huh? Wow.
Spectra ply, yeah.
Very nice.
Looks shiny.
Is it hard to cut?
No, it cuts like butter.
Keep sharp tools.
Here's another one.
Oh, there's some nice trees out of Spectra Ply.
Yeah.
Thank
The
you.
crossing lines
Nice
look really
trees out of
good.
that colored wood, that Spectra Ply.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, if you get your mic open, mute yourself because we let you get in for the rest of the space bar. Dave, I really like that. It's pretty work, man. You did nice.
Thank you.
Very good. All right. So Andy Phillips, you're up. Found you.
Hey, Andy.
Hello. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I have made a concerted effort in the last couple of weeks to finish things I've started in the last couple of years. I have a shelf of stuff. I don't think anybody else does. Anyway, I have a ash vase that I really am happy with.
I like the spalting. That's beautiful.
And the lid is mesquite, and the knob is Texas ebony.
Wait. Andy. Okay, that's just a groove you burnt. That's not a ring. That's just a groove you burnt.
Yeah, it's a groove top and bottom.
Okay.
And if you bear with me, I have one other, a little box that's out of mesquite and with a mesquite lid and red heart knob. And these have been sitting on my shelf for at least 2 to 3 years. And I just wanted to start finishing things. So these are 2 of the first that I have finished.
Very nice. Beautiful work. Lovely wood.
My wife is my critic and she likes them both.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
What tool did you use to on the inside of that big tall one?
The hollowing system. What is it? Jameson. The Jameson.
The hollowing system.
Yes, Jameson.
Okay.
The double bar, the one that slides in a rack.
Yeah.
Okay.
A capture bar, capture system.
Yeah.
I met him at a symposium years ago, and I was very impressed with that, and I've been very impressed ever since.
Lyle's a good teacher. He really is.
Well, he's the one I bought my lathe through. I have a American Beauty, and he was the one I bought it through. So.
All right. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate the input tonight. Who's that? Dick Starr's with us. Hey, Dick.
Hey.
There you go.
There you go. Okay.
Pull it back to your face, Dick.
Just wanted to show you a little bit. Well, I just wanted to show you some of the bottle stoppers that I've had, and some of these are the Spectra Ply also, but you can take a look at the variety.
Dick, we'll see it better if you pull it back towards your face.
There.
Nah, a little bit more.
Some are Corian. I'm not sure what some of the wood is. There's a couple in here that I call chapel wood because we had kneelers on the back of the chairs in the chapel. They were too heavy to move around, so we took all the kneelers off, and I made quite a few of the bottle stoppers out of the kneeler wood. I don't know what it was, but thought it'd be interesting to see. This is some of the ones that I've got that I sell.
You're going to be a problem, Dick.
Yeah?
Yeah, because the next challenge we're going to have is bottle stoppers.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're going to be a problem.
Sorry about that.
We may be coming to you for a demonstration.
Hey, you might be able to do us a demo.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for, Dick, a demo. You can do it.
My shop is not conducive. I'm in a retirement community, and I have a little corner in the back of the shop, and can't really set up to do a video kind of thing.
Okay, then we may want some information from you and get you to talk to us about them. How's about that?
Okay, whatever.
Right here.
All right, very good. Thank you. Jeff Manusky, how are you?
Jeff,
everybody. How's it going tonight?
All righty.
Well, I finally got around to turning a ball ornament. It's a segmented ornament.
You
It's
did
got
an easy.
12 segments per ring, and the bottom is cherry. The center ring is cherry there, and the top is cherry. And then all of the other rings are salvaged barn wood. I got to salvage part of a barn that burned down in Tennessee. I'm not sure exactly how old the barn was, but I used a lot of the wood that I collected to fix my barn. But I got to looking at a few pieces and I planed them, and I was pretty impressed about what came out. I think this is chestnut oak, but I'm not 100% sure. It's got a real caramel looking, rich caramel looking color. Very tight grain.
It's very beautiful. Need to send us a photograph for the newsletter and a website and here on our gallery. Please take a picture. Email it to the club email address.
All right.
What do you use to finish?
Actually, I used the OB Shine Juice.
Oh, okay.
Is that hollow?
It is hollow. I did it in 2 sections. Kind of shaped the outside, then I hollowed out the inside a little bit. So it's probably a little less than maybe about 3/16, I guess, thick. I didn't want to go too thin. I wasn't sure exactly how the bottom and the top were going to come out, but overall, it's actually fairly light. I was surprised how good it came out.
Well, it's beautiful. I was hoping it was hollowed, but I wasn't going to ask.
No, it just didn't look. It didn't look real heavy when you were holding it. It seemed
No. And then I work in oh, sorry.
You're okay.
You have something else?
Yeah, I had one other thing.
Okay,
I work in compressed gases, so I deal with a lot of cylinders and compressed gases, and so I had the idea to make a compressed gas cylinder, like segmented, like box almost, I guess, hollow inside, and this is would be the top, which is kind of a model of a cylinder valve that I turned. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces.
Is it functional?
No, it's not functional.
Low pressure only, Matt. Low pressure only.
The top is a piece of hickory, and so it's about maybe, I don't know, 2 1/4, 2.5 inches in diameter. And then there's
that's very cool.
Little body there. So
great idea. Great.
I have to make a steady rest system for my lathe in order to turn the rest, the actual cylinder, because it's probably will be about 12 inches tall, and I've not done anything that long before. So I'll have to build a steady rest to support it so I can get the center section hollowed out.
Okay, Jeff, I'm going to help you cheat a little bit. If you go to Pinterest, Pinterest, and type in wood turning tools, they will show you about 50 different designs of steady rest.
Yep, I made a lawnmower chuck this over the weekend, so I got some ideas off that.
Good. All righty. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. We got time for one more before we go to Trey for our demonstration. Who you got, Dane?
Let me bring up Clint here.
There he is.
Hi, guys. Hey, ladies. Let me switch cameras here. Got some new pieces of gum the other day. Oh, that's backward, isn't it?
Nope,
One
it's
of my
right.
friends asked,
No, for us, it's right.
yeah. One of my friends asked me the other day to make him a ashtray for cigars and stuff like that. So I turned this one out of that gum.
Very nice.
Pretty piece. I like it.
Is that sweet gum or black gum?
I'm thinking of sweet gum, but I can't say for sure.
Got a lot of colors that my black gum I get down here looks like. But I was looking for more gray in it. I don't see the gray.
It's real pretty. Unfortunately, it was really wet when I turned it, and you can see it's already cracked.
Hey, that's character, bud.
Yeah, I'm thinking how thick it is. It's not going to fall apart, at least.
So you can take crushed charcoal and fill that in with the crushed charcoal and then put CA on it, and it'll actually look like a spalting line instead of looking like something you filled with CA glue and something.
You can do it by hand with it, not being on a lathe.
Right.
Yeah. Question for you guys on making ashtrays. Does it make sense to like take a torch and scorch the inside of it to like sort of anneal it or seal it or whatever?
I don't know. I put a washer in the bottom. As a
Yeah,
sort of a stopping spot.
I don't know what would be best, but does it all right.
I really don't know. We don't have those.
Right.
Thank you, Clint. Appreciate the input tonight.
The cigarettes will do that, Eddie, over time.
Oh yeah, all right.
All right, so you tell me, Martin, what's the right thing to do in the inside of an ashtray that you
Yeah,
turn?
there's not the right thing to do, Matt. You can just leave them plain. If you look up a guy in the UK here who's very, very famous for his furniture, a guy called Robert Mouseman Thompson, made a lot of church furniture, and one of the other items that he made for many, many years, 1930, was his little Mouseman ashtrays. They always have a mouse on the side of them. They don't have any finish on. They're made from English oak. He's made them for years. So there's not a right or wrong. Obviously, they will scorch over time. And certainly now it's the characteristics of one of the Mouseman's ashtrays that if you do get one, they're normally scorched on the inside with the cigarette burns that's been put into them over the years, which makes it a genuine Mouseman. A Mouseman ashtray will bring, I suppose, in American terms, about $100.
Thank you. That's very cool.
All right.
Right. Well, let's reel it in a little bit.
Hey, Eddie, I got a question right quick.
All right, go ahead.
Has anybody ever made the beer stein, I guess you would call it, out of a baseball bat? Someone was asking me to make one, and I don't know what finish to put inside of it, and I've never used a baseball bat as a turning blank. Anybody ever done that?
No.
I've made a beer
I've
stein.
done that.
Go ahead.
You could use CA glue as the inside because that dries as the plastic.
Bob, you stole my fire. Okay.
You're still hot. Don't worry.
Okay, but that's what I did. I've made a mug, and I put a plug in it, and then sandblasted the outside and moved the soft material and leave the hard material, and everything got slightly torched. And then I put CA on it, and oh, it was a hit. Put it at an auction. It did very well. Okay, let's get. It's about 4 minutes after 7 o'clock. The date on the wall there is wrong. I forgot to change that. But we have 2 demonstrations for you this evening. Right off the bat, we're going to go to Trey in just a moment to get a little bit more on ornaments, and we're still collecting your ornaments. And now, right now, Mark, you watch, we're starting a bottle stopper. I didn't say wine bottle stopper. It's wine bottle stopper challenge. And the same thing stands true as we did for the ornament challenge, which we had over 50 photographs come in. Turn whatever you want, out of whatever you want, shape like whatever you want, with the stem and a cork, whether it be a Ruth Now stainless steel or a rubber one or a cork one or whatever. That doesn't matter. What matters is we want to see your turning, how you did it, what the finish is, how it came out. But the rule is, when you get done, you have to give it away. That's it. The only way to go about it is to have to give it away. I see our safety director in. Jeff, do you have a moment for us tonight?
Yes, I do. I stopped it, but I'm not driving, so I'm on the way home from my hunting club. Yeah, so safety moment today is when you're turning, make sure below your lathe and stuff is clean of shavings, so you have good footing, and any other equipment you may be using. Don't be slipping around. That's
Thank you,
it.
Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right.
Simple but sweet, but you're right. I know one I'm gonna throw on that. If you think you need those soft pads to walk on, don't get the ones for kitties. You can get the better ones that are a little bit thicker in the interlock, and they hold up. Not that I'm on mine right now, but mine are probably 10, 12 years old, and it'll help out a lot and helps your legs. For you old guys, it helps your legs. If Trey's lined up, we're going to get into that. And Trey, are you with us tonight? I thought I keyed him in.
I thought I saw
You
him.
know, I'm with you. I just had to unmute it.
Okay.
There, you got it?
Can you spot him?
I got him.
Got it? Okay. Well, welcome. Tonight we're going to do an inside-out turning. But before we get started, I wanted to show you what we finished up from last time. Remember, last week we did the stone inlay. This is the finished ornament from that piece.
Oh, you're just showing off.
Well, this is what we did last week. So we did the inlay. I took a diamond burr and sort of recessed that back, but these are red coral beads. If you look at it from the side, you can see there's a little bit of hole there, but I put the sides, it's not too bad. So, that's what we finished up last time. I just want to show you the finished product.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you.
This week, although I don't specialize in this one, we're going to be doing we're going to turn the body of just the inside-out item. Now, these I need to still put something inside of them, but I'm just going to go through the process of what I do to turn them.
Good. All righty. I wish Ronnie was feeling better tonight. We'd get him to tell the story about the guy that did one with the drill press, but not hollowing it. But the bottom line of the story is it blew up. So.
Okay, now I start out, I'm working to getting something like this. And I start out, the first thing you got to do is make sure that your wood is square, that these blocks are square. Otherwise, they're not going to line up properly. So I actually put it on a table saw and then ran it through a surface sander to make sure it was all squared out. And what I wind up doing, here's a picture. I've got a stick in there and a couple foot long, and then I taped it together. And what I did is I cut them on the tape marks. I simply cut it on the tape. I marked the tape and cut it on the tape marks. This is a piece of one of them. I then go back and sort of drill a little hole in the end of it. And the reason why, this has about 4 or 5 layers of tape on it. The reason why is I don't want my tailstock to be spread. If I come in with the tailstock and push on it, it'll spread it. I do not put any glue on it. I simply tape it. And what holds it together, there's 2 things that hold it together. One is my chuck is going to hold it together. Come on out a little bit. Let's go backwards. Okay, my chuck is going to hold it together because the jaws are going to grab it. And the ring on my tailstock, this outside circular ring on the tailstock will also hold it together on that end, in addition to the tape.
So the spur's not biting, but the ring is.
That's correct. And I try to make it so the spur bites just a little bit, but it does not. I don't want the spur biting. The hole I drilled, I want to be fairly firm in there to keep it from being flopping around. But the ring is what's biting on it. It's the main part of the bite. And I'm turning this between centers. And if you don't feel comfortable that you're getting enough bite on this end, put another piece of tape on it. It won't hurt. To add more tape to it. But the spur is biting it. Now what I want to cut on here is I basically want to cut, and I want to cut a shape like this out of it for the inside. And I found another one back there. You need to leave a little beef on one end of it so that when you turn around and put it back in your chuck, it's easier to grab in there, that you have enough room to grab it with. Let's come in and turn this, turn speed down to get it started, and turn it up. I'm gonna use a roughing gouge to get started, and then I'm gonna jump to a gouge that I haven't shown you before. It's just a colonial gouge. It's an old-fashioned spindle gouge. This works very well on long sweeping curves versus the other spindle gouges work better on you can get a good sweeping curve with this gouge a lot easier. And on the inside, since I'm probably going to come back and paint it, I'm just going to use a scraper on it. Negative rake.
Okay, let's jump to the spindle gouge. You see how it makes a nice looking paragon. Okay, I'll show you one thing on here. The width of your side is going to be this here. That's how wide it's going to be on the side. So if I want it a little smaller, I need to go a little deeper. Let me go a little smaller on this one. I'll make one more pass on it. Okay, I'm going to put negative brake on it.
Trey, we got new turners out there and they're going to wonder why you didn't go down and up with one pass. Tell them why.
Okay. Let me find a piece of wood. It's easier to explain on a piece of wood. If I take a knife, I know I have a knife blade in here, and I'm sharpening this pencil. I'm cutting this pencil downhill. I'm going downhill. The grain of the wood runs this way. My grain is running this way. That wood cuts that way, especially if my knife was a little sharper.
Yeah,
it cuts that way. Okay, I got to reasonably cut. If I try cutting this way, it just digs in and tears up. So that's exactly the same thing that's happening here. I cut downhill and I get to the bottom and I go to the other side and cut downhill and then blend it at the bottom.
Is there a particular profile you're trying to cut there, Trey?
Not necessarily. I'm just getting sort of a round, or, you know, something of this nature, just sort of roundish, which is a good shape to put something inside of.
So that diameter you're going to now, how do you know how small or how large it needs to be?
This is bigger in diameter than what I normally turn. I went to go find some wood to turn it with. This is maple that's had bugs in it. I wasn't going to use it for anything else, and I said, hey, it'd probably do pretty good for an inside out. I don't mind the bug holes on an inside out ornament. So I said, well, I'll go ahead and try it. It was a 5/4 material. I already had it, so I was going to throw it away. And so instead of throwing it away, I said, well, I'll cut it up and give it a shot. Next time I do it, I'm probably going to bring it down to about 1 inch instead of 1 1/4. This is a little bit too bigger than what I want. Yeah, I'm about 1 1/4 there, which is probably a little fatter than what I normally do.
So then you're shooting about half making a diameter that's half the width of the initial blank.
Yeah, but the main thing I'm looking for, what I'm gonna wind up with is my side that's my side that you're gonna see. That's the diameter that you're gonna have on the outside. So that ring there is this diameter right here.
Okay.
From here to here is that diameter.
Right. Okay.
That'll be the smallest diameter. So you just go from there and bring it down to whatever you want on it.
Okay.
This one here is actually a little smaller.
Yeah, if you're absolutely crazy, go real fine, but don't do it in the beginning. You need a
You
little.
can always
breathing
take it
time.
small. You can always take it smaller on the outside too if you want to make it thinner.
Yes.
When you switch things around.
Okay.
Unfortunately, when you start doing that on the outside, he's saying that, but see how thin that's getting? If I try to keep cutting, that's going to cut through. This will be too thin. So the answer is no, you need to make the decision now on that thickness of that, because that's as far down as you can go. I couldn't go any thinner than that, because there's you're based on that taper, and I try to get down thinner on that, it's going to go down to nothing on that wall, on this wall thickness. So be careful with that. Be careful with trying to plan it afterwards. Try to plan it before.
Okay.
Okay. Negative rate scraper. Okay, you have to go to the grinder all the time. I basically just ran one quick swipe on that bottom edge, set on about a 20, 25 degree angle. Getting it falling right in here. Okay. That's all I'm gonna do to it, and I over scraped it from time on, but I have a good surface, no tear out on it. I'm gonna come back. I got a little here. I got a line in there I want to take out. You got a tool mark in that area, section. Now I'm using a scraper without a handle. That's the handle I'm using. So.
Breaking the rules.
Well, a negative rate, it seems to run very smoothly.
It does. When we get into sharpening tools, we're going to explain to new turners what negative rake really is, and that you can do it on almost any scraper. We'll talk about that when we do sharpening.
So I now have
We lost your audio.
okay. You got it back?
Yes.
Okay. So this is where I sit right now, and if I look here, I can see the edges on the bottom. When you first start out, you need to number it, number your pieces, and define the center. Define an edge to it. What's to the center. And I'm gonna jump over and see if I can.
Trey,
go ahead.
Sorry.
Yes.
Can I just jump in there, because I know you're probably not going to do it at the moment, but I just want to jump in and give people a tip of the day. If they're doing involuted, some people try to do a shape inside the involuted. So whereas you've created the circle on the inside, you might then put a ball of different wood on the inside. And what you want to try and do is create a shape that is something similar to what the inside shape is going to be. And if you just bring the wood back over onto the lathe, so that where you've numbered it, Trey.
Yes. Just a second.
Good idea, Martin. That's a nifty accent.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, it's numbered.
Right. What Trey's done there is numbered them so that he knows which way he's going to turn this around. If I was going to fit something into the center of that now that I wanted to fit correctly, what I would do is I would just slice down one side of it, which then allows you to leave the tape on it, and you can turn it round to see if your shape fits inside. If it doesn't fit, you can then close it back up and put it back on the lathe without breaking the whole thing apart. Once you've broken it apart, it's very difficult to get lined up and put back together to glue back up.
And that's very true. Now, one thing I did do,
If you
I
just
cut this on a chop saw, so my ends are both flat.
Yeah.
Which gives, and that's very important to put it on a saw and cut it, because that gives me a reference point that these flat sides realign it back to that square.
Well, if you take a knife now, Trey, and you just go down one side, one gap, straight through your tape.
So you taped it and then put it on the saw?
Right.
Is
So
that
what
you
he's going to do is he's going to take a knife straight down there, then he'll turn it around. So now open it up, Trey. Not quite. That knife's blunt.
did? Yeah, we know.
It wouldn't sharpen your pencil.
If
Well, it's a different knife. The blade is sharp, but I try to get it lined up to the cut.
Yeah, you
I have
need
to line it up to the.
You need an English Stanley knife.
So blade tools, dual pocket
They are.
knife.
Is that an offer to send him one?
Now you can see what I'm saying now. If you turned a shape to go inside there, you can check your shape. And if your shape doesn't fit and you want to alter the outside of that, you can turn it straight back round and put it back on the lathe. Glue it back up. Just put your tape, put new tape round, it's all done. So
Brilliant.
check your shape.
I like that. That's a great idea.
In this instance, it's not really applicable, but while Trey was doing this demonstration, for anybody who's trying to put something inside, you can almost have a look at it at this point. Once you've glued it up and it's finished, you can't do nothing with it.
Now, is that the way he would glue it, the way he's got it right now?
Yep.
And, you know.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
so
it is.
Cut one side
Yes,
down.
it is. It's the way it's going to be glued.
Cut one side down, wrap it around, and that's the way you're going to glue it when you go to.
Yes. Yes, it is.
That's a great tip. Thank you, Martin.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that.
Okay.
No, that's I do involuted, but I do involuted where I put something inside, predominantly a glass decanter.
Okay,
So what I do, you see, is I need to make sure that the glass decanter fits tightly within the shape I've created on the inside. And this allows me to keep correcting the inside shape.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now, the guy that just asked about the gluing,
No, it is not. It's not the way I glue it, because I'm going to take and rotate each one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 clockwise. When I go this way, I get 1, 2, 3, 4 counterclockwise. So it's not precisely the way I'm gluing it, but he's 100% correct for measurement and checking the inside.
Okay.
Right.
Because when I glue them together, I'm going to rotate each one of these 180 degrees and then put them back and glue them together. Or should I go the other way? I don't know.
Thanks, Trey. I just wanted to pass that information on while you were doing your demo. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's a good tip.
Should I go backwards when you do it?
Shouldn't make any difference if your 4 blocks are identical.
Okay.
As long as your 4 blocks are identical, and if you've measured them up and they are identical, it shouldn't matter which way, as long as you're going corner to corner. Not an issue.
They should be, because I ran them when I run them through the surface sander. I'll run it through, and I make sure I run them all through at the same time, same place on the sander. So,
great.
Make sure I'm in the same general area of the sander. I don't put one in.
I'm going to say you do it your way, because when your inside meets your outside and you end up with 8 pieces, it's not my fault.
Okay, so let's go to gluing one up. And let me switch cameras.
If you're talking, we don't hear you.
I don't think he's talking.
I think he's trying to find that button.
We can't hear you, Trace.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Now we got you.
Okay, because I'm using the mic on the other side of the room. This mic, the battery's probably dead on this mic. Wait a second. It wasn't turned on. See if that makes a difference.
That on and off switch. Don't
Okay.
it?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. I have marked this 1, 2, 3. I normally personally don't mark it because I actually have a ring here in the middle that, from the Live Center, and I just rotate it right here on the bench when I do it to glue them up. One thing that's important that you do though is that you clean up any fuzz on these edges, because when you put it back together, those edges are going to be mating back up, and if you're not careful, that fuzz will hold it off of the edge. I've turned around and put a little bit of paint on this one. It's got some red paint with some gold dry brush on it. That's sort of sticking it together. Now when I put these together, I'm going to take the piece, rotate it 180 degrees. Rotate 180 degrees, 180 degrees, and 180 degrees. Now, I'm not actually going to put glue on it tonight, but what I would do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue on these two surfaces, rub it down so I don't get too much in there, and do the same thing, put it on these two surfaces, these, and put them together. It's just to save time for not gluing them. Okay, and then.
Hey Trey, in your initial tape up, did you tape them and then put it in the saw?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay, Trey.
It was a stick and by doing so, I actually just cut through the tape at the joints.
Right.
Trey, in other words, your circle from your ring compression there when you were mounting it on the drill goes from the center, and they all go out to the outside corners?
That is correct. Here are those little rings right here on the outside corners.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, thank you.
I've highlighted.
Okay.
Now it's wet glue and we're taping it now, correct, Trey?
I've artificially glued it, and then I'm taping it.
Okay. Just so you guys that were following along, the tape is to assist in gluing, not.
No, right now it's to assist in gluing. Then I'm going to, here's one I've just finished gluing, but I will put pressure on that joint to hold it together, to hold my glue joints together. I'll come in from, and I do that because I think I get a better fit if I tighten the joints up. So I tighten those two sides up, flip it over.
And you're also not fooling around the slip and slide of wet glue.
That's correct, because I've got tape on it. The tape's going to hold it in place on that. And then I'll let that dry as a glued piece. I haven't glued this one, but that's, but I'll just let it dry.
Let's say you were gonna paint the inside. Let's say you wanted to paint the inside red. Would you do that before you flipped them around?
Yes, I would.
Thank you.
I always do the finish on the inside before I flip them. Gold leaf looks real well on it, and everything on it.
Okay, the one he put in there with the phony glue is painted on the inside. He showed us it. Now that one right there, what would you do, Trey?
This is the one I just turned. Okay, that we just turned. I would take and paint the outside of this, or inside of it. Paint this, and that would be my inside of it before I turn it around, which is what I've already done. I did on this one and the one we just did. But then we'll go ahead and turn one. I'll go ahead and turn one of these.
As you said, it works good with gold leaf or that phony leaf you get at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, it works real well with the gold leaf. It's a little challenging to get it on, but it's nice. It gives you a nice speckle on it. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn one of these. This one here, I actually, because I didn't leave a lot of space, I went ahead and turned it down so I had a tenon to try to grab it with, because I don't have a lot of space on this end. We're gonna go ahead and do this one. And I'm just gonna put this back in the chuck the way I took it out. I put a little burr in the end for my live center. Not perfectly aligned. I'm off a few thousandths there, but it should be close enough. And we're gonna put this back in the chuck. Okay. Go ahead. Did you say something, Eddie?
It's 30 minutes after the hour. If you're just joining us, Trey is doing a demonstration on what is called an inside out. Martin's got another term for it from the UK. But this is a great demonstration on turning inside outs, and it's not restricted to ornaments. You'd be surprised what nice ornament of what decoration you could do for a standing piece, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you, Trey.
Okay.
That's the best explanation I've ever seen on it.
Now this one here has been glued out. That was the glue up tape for glue up. Back to rough and gouge. Yeah. And I'm looking, you probably can see it. You can see the shadow in here on that edge.
Well, I'll think this that your opening you can see in the shadow as you look over the top.
I'm going to go back to a okay. Now I found sometimes trying to get into corners like this, parting tool is a good way of cleaning out and get rid of some extra wood, especially if you start getting close. Okay, I'll stop it just so you can see what it looks like right now. Okay, I do want to get, that's a flat spot. I want to make sure I at least get all my flat spots turned out off of it. And I'm running a little close here coming back on it, but that should be okay. So let's keep on going down and we'll take some of those, get those flat spots out of there.
A little while ago, Trey, you referred to that spindle gouge with that you're using. For people just joining us, the reason he used that spindle gouge, it has got more beef on the back of it to stand, to give you control without wobbling. And he's got more, instead of a fingernail grind or a lady finger grind, It's more like a thumb grind.
This is what the old spindle gouges of, many, many years ago looked like. They call them colonial gouges now, but if you bought a set of lathe tools back in the 50s, this is what you're going to get for a spindle gouge.
Yeah. And one swing on the grinder makes it beautiful.
Yes. And I do want to get most of this stuff taken care of first versus this side, because I start thinning out too much, I don't have as much support. Okay, I still have a little bit of flat when I'm looking at this here. And hopefully, maybe you can keep on backwards and focus. You can see it a little bit. You can see where there's a double shadow right here. There's a solid shadow and a double shadow. And what you're seeing is this area that I still have flats on it. You're still seeing this flat areas where you're seeing the double shadow in it when you're turning it. Now, I could quit here and just sand that out, but I'm going to take that down a little further in there. Pretty much right on that line that had it in there.
Great. What is your spindle speed?
I don't know. I don't have a readout.
Oh, you crank up?
I'm on a mid-belt setting, and about a little bit half speed on a mid-belt setting. And I don't know what this lathe does, so I don't. I don't know whether you can still see it in here. I no longer have that double image right here. I still have it here. I'll just leave that there. And I just cut it away. It should be down.
Yeah, I could see it before, so it's showing up. It was showing up on your video.
So you can see that image on there. I'm going to switch gouges because I need to get into this corner a little better. This is what I use for most of my spindle turning. It's Marshall Ace grind that he uses for finials. I love it as a grind on shadows. Recommend you start with a little more wood. Check, make sure I don't cut through the top. Oh, I'm getting close. I don't want to go too much further on that.
What turn is if you got a question for Trey, you can put it in chat and we'll relay it to him. If you don't feel like you can talk on the air, it's more than welcome. And chat is where you put all the information you want to share with other turners.
To know what item is turned that is inserted on the inside, how it's held during the turning. So the item which is inserted in the inside is held during the outside turning. How is that done?
Normally, most of the things I put in there fit through the opening, so I can insert it afterwards.
Okay, so they're small enough to fit through the opening. And then,
They're small enough to fit through the opening.
Dane, I've done them where I put the piece in,
Okay.
packed it in paper, and then cut it, but the paper kept it balanced.
okay.
Now, right now, I would turn around and go ahead and sand this. On this one here, I'm going to do it a little different. I'm going to do it similar to what I did with this one, put a finial on the top versus this. I don't really like turning the finial as part of it, and the reason why I'm talking the top joint is because I have 4 pieces of wood coming together. I think I like it better to put a separate piece on there. I think it matches up better, it looks better, so, which is what I'm going to do to this. I would turn around and sand this through the grits and then part the 2 things off.
Don't sand tonight. We're doing a 2-hour special on sanding.
I'm not, yeah, I'm not going to sand tonight. I'm just saying I would sand it. I'm not going to sand. I'm going to stop right here and conclude my demo from this point.
No, but what I'm saying is when we don't have a demonstrator, we're going to show sanding for 2 hours. But I'm not going to show sanding. That just takes up time. But I'd sand it, and I would probably put a backing plate on the sandpaper when I'm sanding it so it's not bouncing too bad. And you don't have those corners.
The other thing you're going to do after it's sanded is you're going to sand this little, you'll sand this little inside edge on both sides to knock that sharp corner off on it. It's a little sharp corner that you want to knock off. Anything that's not perfectly aligned, sandpaper corrects it. Corrects that little alignment at the joint. That was slightly off, a little bit of sandpaper. Now it's perfectly aligned on that joint.
Very nice, sir.
So, any questions or comments? Or
now remember, Turner,
most things will fit inside.
Yes.
Go ahead.
The PC is showing the inside is not painted. The prototype, as we were looking at the stack-ups, he had already painted the red on the inside. Is this one painted?
Yes, it is. That's red with
I
gold.
see it because of the dust. Pardon me.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, now we're there.
Okay.
Trey, you were talking about lining those points up by sanding them, making them perfect on your openings.
Yes.
One of the things I've noticed before is that if one is off, generally they're all 4 off. You have to go through and do them all.
Well, looking at that one, this one here.
Yeah.
Well, that one there is not off. What's happening, there's a hole in the wood at the point that it joins.
Right.
The rest of them look like they're on. Or pretty close to being on.
What do you use to glue them? Tide Bond or CA?
Tide Bond.
Okay.
I don't like CA glue unless I have to use it.
Got it.
We're putting things together. Wood holds a whole lot better with glue made for wood.
Yep.
CA goes so fast, it's kind of hard for some turners to understand. You have seconds.
Yep.
So would that be possible to do with 3 pieces of wood instead of 4?
Yes, it is.
Or get this, or 6.
You can put any angle, any number you want in there. The difference is my joints.
Would you change your degree from 90 to?
My joints are 90. If I had 3 pieces, that joint would be 120 degrees. Those joints would be 120 degrees. But remember, it's cut that way and that way, but it's also has to be cut this way when you cut it. So your piece that you're cutting it, that you made up, looks like that.
You're gonna have a
Because you have to flip it. Because that angle here and that angle there and all that, and these two, it has to be a parallelogram. That length and that length have to be the same. All 4 of those lengths have to be the same. Because when you rotate it around, this was the inside to start with. Now it's going to be the outside. So all that has to match back up. But yes, you can.
I saw a beautiful one done out of 8 pieces the other day on Pinterest. It was absolutely gorgeous. And basically had an insert in it, Martin.
Basically, this is what you're dealing with when you go with 3 pieces. You got that here. There's 1 piece here. This is another piece here. And your 3rd piece is here. And you got 3 pieces that you're putting together. Just make sure your angles are straight and are straight or line up properly. And not only do they line up, that distance and all these distances have got to be the same size.
Thank you, Trey. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So now I think we have Matt Harbor lined up to do a 3-sided piece for us. I heard it.
Thanks, Trey. That was an excellent demonstration. That's a very brave man to be doing inside out, or as I call it, involuted turning, especially to nearly 100 people in front of him.
Well, I didn't see anybody.
No, well, that's great. We were all watching you.
Yep, that's the beauty of this, folks. Trey is in his shop doing this video to share with us. And I said earlier, we're looking for somebody that will do videos. But bottle stoppers, we're going to talk with one of the guys about bottle stoppers in a couple of weeks. But we're always looking for tips and tricks. You learned something for what Trey did tonight. You learned he turned fine wood with a roughing gouge. And then he went back in with a fingernail gouge that looked more like a thumb gouge. And then he finished up with a fine lady's fingernail gouge. He showed you blocking, holding. One of the things he stressed about, all the pieces had the uniform. A lot of guys don't understand that it's square. No, square doesn't count unless it is positively square. If you check one corner and the other corner and it looks good, how about the other 2 corners? You can have a little fuzz or whatever. You learned all that with Trey's demonstration tonight. That's why we're recruiting you to do a demonstration. Thank you, Trey. It was great. And I think a special one lined up for the next week or 2, don't we?
I don't know of anything I have lined up for next week.
Oh, I thought you had 40. Yeah, I don't want to throw.
I can look at it. I can always come up with something, but I don't have any. I don't think I have any ornaments I'm showing.
No, sir. You talked to me about doing 40.
Oh, I can do that. If you want me to do that next week, I'll be glad to show the 40-40 grind next week.
There you go, folks. The 40-40 grind, and he's going to show you how to do in your grinder in your shop.
Trace is also very good at finials too.
He's good at finish. All you guys can do finials. Come on. This isn't the trade demonstration section. We got to give him a break so he can watch and work instead of working every demo. That's why I'm asking.
Well, if you go back to the audio, the videos, I did finials one time.
Yes,
About a month and a half ago.
Yep.
And we may use part of that, but folks, again, the advisory board says we have to have more teams, more members of the team in here, more members. Again, thank you, Trey. I have a note here. I got something in the email the other day, and I'll need to go to it. It doesn't take as much. I got this from Brent Sobotaka. Hope it is slow your name too bad, Brent. Where Brent said, how about using card scrapers on turning wood? Brent, I have. I've used a flat card scraper to dress the outside of a large bowl. And I have they call it a French arc or
curve.
French curve scraper that I've used on the inside of pieces. The beauty of scrapers, just like Trey showed you a few minutes ago, the beauty of scrapers, it takes a minute cut, minute. You can take that scraper and remember, you got to know how to sharpen it. The hook's got to come up, not go down, and you can do a really fine sweep. So Brent, yes, card scrapers do have a value. You don't need a big rig and holder and all. All you have to do is remember that you have to control it. Not in the regular world that are doing, you can control it. Oh, okay. I missed. I saw somebody had a tip up there, but tell me he starts sanding with a brick. If you put something in a chat tonight, information about a product or whatever, Kim's really great at this. And we're always looking for Kim to do this. If there's something we talk about and you don't know what it is or it's hard to find or whatever, we put it in. That way you have it. It's available. You can save the chat, print it on your computer, or you can go to our website, worldwidewoodturners.org, and you'll find all the programs and all the stuff to go along with it. And if you subscribe, if you pay attention to YouTube, our director of information, David, puts some on a channel called Of Course. So go to YouTube and search Of Course, and then subscribe. And remember, subscribing to YouTube doesn't cost you a nickel. And if you subscribe, you get every one of the videos that person puts in right there in sequence. Folks ask me, can I index my videos? I already did. YouTube did it for me. You need an index, subscribe. It's the easy way out or in. I reminded y'all about the bottle stoppers. We're going to start that right now. Turn your bottle stoppers. Freedom pens, we're still collecting Freedom pens. I don't have the names in front of me. I got 2 huge boxes of Freedom pens in this week, and they are going to go from me to Doug Rowe in Arizona. Arizona, yeah. And he's going to issue them to the troops. See, we have a troop giving them to the troops. We're not fooling around here. Matt Harper's got a display. We're going to start in just a moment. Remind you again to send us photos to our website, our club address, which is, get this, worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. We got locked in on that Worldwide Woodturners. @gmail.com is the address. .org is our website. Let's see, Matt. We got Matt on engraving right now, Lichtenberg. I got to study to remember that name. Matt, are you with us yet?
Let me pull him up here.
Spotlight.
Yep, I'm here.
Sorry, I just
You're a go, Matt.
Okay. I don't know what happened here. Okay. First of all, let me put the disclaimer in. This is from the meeting last week where we started talking a little bit about the Lichtenberg burning, and I had said something about if you wood burn some lines, you can get the electricity to follow the wood burned lines. So I'm going to demonstrate that tonight. But the disclaimer is that this is very, very dangerous. The voltage you're using is lethal and potentially fatal. So you best know how grounding works, how voltage works, how to separate yourself and keep the current from running through you, how to insulate everything, and so on. I don't want to get into all of this. I don't want to describe my machine at all, at least not publicly. If you've got questions, please email me or write me on Facebook. Anyway, there's my disclaimer on that. Note that the AAW bans this technique and bans anybody mentioning it or bans any work done with it. So, because people have gotten killed doing it. So be very careful, people, if you're doing this, and please, please learn everything you can about it before you even think about trying it. All right. Anyway, any questions on that?
I don't appreciate the disclaimer, folks.
I would add, don't make your own unit unless you're an electrical engineer and know what you're doing. Don't make your own unit, buy a commercial unit. There are some commercial units out there. Buy something that somebody else has already engineered for you.
Right, and nobody, myself and anybody I know and any organization I'm affiliated with does not recommend this process. Okay.
I'd just like to add, hey, Matt.
Yes.
So nobody's worried. I ain't gonna try this myself, okay?
Okay, good.
Watching, but I ain't gonna do it, guys.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
My husband won't allow me because he actually responded to a call where a gentleman had built his own system in his shop, and it electrocuted him. And once that electric charge got a hold of him, he couldn't let go of it. So he caught in flames. His wife came into the shop, tried to use a broom to beat him off to get the electricity to let go of him. Of course, he was already dead. So she had to stand there and watch him catch in flames, burn standing, and then the whole shop burned down. So I don't mean to be real graphic, but that can happen, and it has happened, and it's horrifying. So just be very, very careful. My husband won't allow me to do it, whether I buy a commercial one or not. So I just get to watch from the sideline.
Yep, it's very dangerous. So anyway, okay, on to this. Now that we've said that, this is a piece that, a plate that I made. That the plate is hard maple. This is me playing with it last night. These lines here were burned with my wood burner. The ones that are obscured by the Lichtenberg were created with the Lichtenberg device. Okay, this is one of my probes. I've got it. I got it clamped to some wood burning lines down here that I've done. Okay. And all right, so I'm going to show this here. The solution that I'm using is 1 cup of water with a tablespoon of borax in it. This is a conducting solution. Let's see, plugged in. Okay, and I'm going to turn off my overhead light so that y'all can see this. Now, the way I'm going to use this, the little Harbor Freight foam applicator to put the solution on there. I'm not going to put a lot of solution in. I'm going to make a first pass where I paint the solution, let it soak into the wood a little bit, and then I'm going to dab where I want it to go. And I'm going to start with the other probe out here after properly insulating myself so that I get the effect following these lines and creating the little burn lines out here. And there will be arcing, okay? It's going to arc, that's normal, okay?
Okay.
So there's a little bit of the solution. Get a little bit more. Now there are 2 things going on here. One thing is that the carbonized, the carbon from the wood burning is going to serve as a conductor. And I also used my skew tip on my wood burner to do this, to make the lines, and it has created a small valley for the fluid, the conducting fluid, to stay in. And here we go. And you can see it following the lines of the burn lines. And I'm a little bit outside of where my burned lines. Need a little bit more solution. I want to bring it further out this way.
Can you push it away from you a little bit so it's more centered?
Here, how's that? Is that what
Yeah,
you had in mind?
Thank you.
Okay, so let me shut things down here and show you what that did. So this in here was created following these lines here. Okay, and that's what it did. All right. And that's how I created the rest of this stuff up here on the top too.
Let me do a little thing here. If you don't understand it, if you're scared of it, leave it alone. I hear from guys, it scares me to death and I'm fearless. Please, if you're afraid of it, leave it alone.
Yeah, if there's any question, just don't do it. So, and some of these channels are deep enough.
How do you turn it on and off?
I don't want to get into the construction of my machine. I have a high voltage switch that controls power to the transformers.
Okay.
And it's I have a whole setup that everything is isolated from each other and heavily insulated.
Yeah, let's not get any more of that, Matt.
Yep.
No, I don't want. I was just wondering whether it was a foot control or manual control.
I am standing on a dead man switch also.
Okay.
So this is a brass brush, and I get to scrape the char out of it, and so on. So, anything else?
Yeah, carbon conducts electricity. Couldn't you do the same thing with a pencil?
That was a question asked on my Facebook yesterday. I have not tried it with a pencil. The question was along the lines of, would a graphite pencil work? It might. It should. So I don't know. I know the wood burning works. Okay. For
the answer on that, Matt, we'll get somebody who is familiar with this to maybe give it a test, and then we'll report back. How's that?
Okay. Well, I can test it. I probably have graphite and charcoal and stuff to test it with. I'll answer it, but yep, I don't know.
I talked to a guy in the club one time, said he's got one of those cattle shockers for the fence, and he tried this a couple of times. It didn't work. I asked him to get rid of it. Thank you, Matt. We appreciate the information tonight and the demonstration. And folks, like I said, everybody's a demonstrator. Matt jumped up and said, all right, I'm here. Let's do this. And if you have more, you can put our questions. You can put it in chat. I'm backing up when we started a year ago. I don't want to do a mailing list of this club. I don't want to put that out there. But if you would like to converse with me, you can contact me via the club email address, worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. Write me from there, and I'll have your email. I will not give your email to the next guy. No matter what, I'm not going to give it to the next guy. If somebody says I need to talk to Matt, I will take their email and BCC it to Matt, if that'll work out. But I will not give your email out to somebody else. I hate it when I get those 20 offers of data and prove to pay off my school tuition. My daddy did that.
So one of the other things that you can do with this is I can fill in the cavities with epoxy or colored wax or something. So it does create a cavity into the wood. So
can you use those colored sticks like what Cindy Drozda sells? The help me, folks. Come on, y'all know what I'm talking about. The color gold, silver.
Yeah, I got one here.
Yeah, there it is. Johnny's got it.
Yeah, they're wax sticks.
Yes.
Anything that fills would probably work, right?
Okay. Boy, that'd be
There you go. I don't know if you can read that. That's what Cindy uses.
Pull it back.
Oh, right to your face.
Fill in paint. Lacquer stick, fill in paint, it says there.
Yeah, one of the things I know is that if I'm filling in small, like in engraved lines or small thin lines, that stuff works good and the wax works good. But I've had issues where if I fill in larger cavities, that you need something more like an epoxy, or because the wax will dry and crack and contract and stuff. And I don't know if that paint does it. I'd love to find out, but I'm more tempted to use something like an epoxy to fill it with, or maybe even Milliput or something like that.
Well, Matt, here you go. Somebody's got a spare one. Send it to Matt so we can give it a try.
I'll be right on it.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate your offer and your help tonight. It's now 8 minutes after 8 o'clock, and we've covered a lot of ground tonight and got a lot of input from our viewers and our members. And remember, all of you folks are members. You didn't pay a membership fee. You don't have to pay to be here. You don't have to subscribe, buy a hat, buy a magazine, wear a jacket. We have a secret handshake, but we can't tell you that right now. But if you've got something that you want to share with us, throw it in there. We're all open for things. And the information dealing with the woodturner, wide open. Our email address is worldwidewoodturners.org. worldwidewoodturners.org is our website. worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com is our email address. Kane, I think you got a couple of people in the bullpen right now.
Eddie, I can answer one of your questions with the marker.
All right.
Real quick, because I just took a pencil and graphite. You got me?
I got you.
You got it?
I'm trying to find you a hot spotlight.
Okay.
I got him.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, we got your T on your screen.
Camera switch screen.
Okay. Well, I'll come back to it. I will show you what the graphite did because I tried it.
Okay, we'll come back to you.
Just come back to me.
Okay, I'll take the spotlight off him. Dane, you said you've got some folks in the bullpen for the gallery tonight?
Yeah, we got Gary up next. Hey, Gary.
Hey, Gary.
There we go. Okay, I'm unmuted. How do I just click on the X. Okay. I turn this bowl.
Pull it back to your face. Pull it back to your face. There you go.
Okay, I turned this bowl 6 to 8 months ago. It's a offcut piece. I built my neighbor a mantle over his fireplace, and this was a cutoff from the end of it. And I love the bug holes in it and the cracks. When I originally turned it, I left probably almost an inch on the bottom. I'm one of those people who's scared to death I'm going to go through the bottom. Well, I returned it, and I'm now down to about 3/16. But it's just came out real pretty. I've got sanding sealer on it, and then I put 3 coats of Armor Seal on it, and it came out beautifully with a gorgeous yellow or gold color on it. It's about 3.5 inches to 4 inches high, and probably 9 inches wide. But that's one piece. I got another piece.
Beautiful, Gary.
It's Bodark. I'm sorry, Bodark. Yeah, Bodark. And if you don't have sharp tools, you're not going to turn it. Bodark is just hard as a rock. Okay.
Same Osage, right?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, our club put out. I'm in the Golden Triangle Woodturners Club in Denton, Texas, and they put out that they wanted us to make. Oh, I don't think you can see that.
Yeah, we got it.
There, make some wig stands for people in the hospitals that are going through cancer treatment, and the top is yeah, that's what it is, by golly. The center's maple. Dadgum. I forgot what I turned them out of. Anyhow, They were 6 by 6 by 3 inches. And they turned it down. This one I liked. It came out there. That's a little better. You can see it maybe a little better. It came out real nice. I cut a little bit down inside it, so there's a tray, a tray on the inside where people can put like earrings or rings or things, and they won't slide off. And it just nothing fancy or great, but as far as some people will really appreciate it.
Very good cause. Very good cause.
Yeah. Anyhow, that's it.
Thank you, Gary. Appreciate it.
Bob Moffett, you're on deck. Let me get
Bob,
to you,
you're back.
sir.
Okay.
Where
Can
you
y'all
at,
see
Bob?
me now?
Yep, I see you now.
Okay.
Now everybody does.
So one of Captain Eddie's videos, if anybody needs a narrow parting tool, I made this from one of his videos. And it's a blade from a reciprocating saw and a copper pipe fitting and a piece of oak that I made the handle out of. But Captain Eddie has a video on this, and it's a really nice parting tool. And I use it a lot, and I just wanted to share it with everybody.
Thank you, Bob.
Take a look at that if you want a narrow parting tool.
That is a fairly heavy tool blade for a sawzall. You can't use the little flimsy light ones. You see that name on the side of it? That means it's quality.
Right.
That's right. And I tell people this is my DeWalt parting tool.
How'd you set the blade in there? Did you do a cut recess?
I took, before I turned it, I cut a slice on the bandsaw.
Okay.
In here, and then put the ferrule on, and then put some epoxy on it. And it works great.
Yeah, great. And it's also a great detail tool. Thank you,
That's
Bob.
what I got.
Thanks, Bob. All right, Josh, you're on deck. Let's see.
Folks, it takes us a second for our co-hosts to find the people that want to show something. So just be patient with us, and pow, up you come. And Dane's looking for, there he is. There's Josh.
Hey, everybody. So I've just recently started turning pens. I showed one last week, my first one I did. Today I turned another one, tried using the CA glue finish, and this is what I came up with.
That's nice.
Made out. Nice. There's still a little finishing issues that I can see on it up close that I want to work on, but for my second pen, I'm still pretty proud of that.
Oh yeah, I would be.
I would be proud of that.
It's looking good.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we're talking about freedom pens. My son's in the military, and this pen's going to him. So
good. Make 25 or 30 more and send them to Doug Rowe.
I'll work on
it. All right. Thank you, Josh. It's a beautiful piece to do. And for those of you that think you're an artist, pens are difficult. Oh, talk about difficult. Now we got Doug with us this evening.
We got a couple things for you tonight. They go together, actually. Too often when we're doing hollow forms or even bowls, trying to get them thin, especially down at the bottom, we have some issues. I was watching Chris Fisher, I don't know, about 3 or 4 months ago, and then I saw the same jig being used by another fellow there in Great Britain, Wayne Clasper. This is a piece, it's a spacer piece that goes against the headstock, and this width across here is the distance from the headstock to the end of my chuck jaws. This is the other piece. This sits on the bed with the dowel that goes inside, and so you know how close you are by the distance between the two blocks on the bottom. So if I've got a 1/4 inch between the two pieces of wood, I've got a 1/4 inch bottom. And so I know that I'm good to go right there. I don't need to go much thinner. Where if I've got 3 or 4 inches, then I know I've got a long way to go. So that's just a good way to keep.
The bar doesn't move.
No, the bar is glued in. I thought I had some dowel, but I didn't, so I just turned a piece. But that does not move. This is directly above this edge here. These are in a, yes, they're dead center on each other. So when this edge here gets close to this one, I know that I'm close.
It's a great
Make
tip.
sense?
Yeah.
That's a good tip.
And when you
Simple
go
jig.
down on the inside of a bowl, if you're wondering about, now remember that dowel has got to be center line of your headstock.
Yep.
If you're going down the side of a bowl, wondering what the thicknesses are, that will work. If you keep it parallel to your bed, you'll be able to see the spacing.
Right. This is just primarily for the very bottom of the bowl. I use a double-ended caliper for the sides, and so I know what my sides are pretty easy. This just makes sure, so because the end of the bar is in line with the front edge of that block, if those two blocks come together, because I know the first block is the distance from my headstock out all the way out to the very end of my chuck jaws. So I can't let those two touch.
And you know the rule,
Okay.
the inside dimension can never exceed the outside dimension.
Exactly. So all that being said, I use that to make sure I didn't go through the bottom of this jewel. This is a piece of mesquite. It is 6 1/4 inches wide with the finial included, 5 1/2 inches tall. There's my hollowing hole. There's not a lot of hole there. That measures just shy of an inch. But then I turned
It's really
the
nice.
walnut finial. There you go. Now you can see it. That's right at a 1/16 of an inch at the top.
That's really cool, Doug.
Kim is still with us, right, Kim?
Great job, Doug.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Real nice.
Kim, do you think Matt
Beautiful.
could volunteer to do that demonstration on finials?
Who would?
Kim, do you think Doug Miller should do that demonstration on finials?
Absolutely.
Look at him.
I-
Just please don't
I
ask
might
me
be
to do
able
it,
to.
'cause
Yeah,
I
I got
get
my
it.
hand up.
I second that.
I might be able to do it. It's turning finials is one of those strange things. It's not a quick, simple little thing. It takes a little time.
Yeah, I know.
So when
you
you're
gotta
getting
sit
that
back, look at
thin,
it, sit back and get it.
well, and getting that thin, you're barely touching the wood with your tool to make sure you don't snap it.
Well, you're slicing, you're not gouging.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's where I have a hard time because I'm used to just ripping material off, and that is dainty and delicate, and you have to
There
take
we
your
go.
time and be the
Well, you know you got to practice when they start looking like cow tits. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're not seeing, there is a detail between the very top and this ring that's right here. There's a gap in there. There's a groove in there that I don't think you can, well, maybe you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank you.
He's bragging on that part, folks. I think he's bragging on that. So that's really a beautiful piece.
That's all right. He's
Thank
gonna
you.
get himself into
I think he's got a right to brag on that.
Good morning,
Yeah,
brag.
that-
Good morning, good
that's
Hey,
totally
that-
braggable.
that's a braggable piece. I don't care.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That I'd be bragging.
I don't question that. I just think that's what we're supposed to be here for, is to let folks show their work and brag on it. And hey, you did the best in the world. That's what it's all about. Trey, we're back to you again. Trey, it's you.
There he is. You're
Can't hear
muted.
you. Turn your mic on, Trey.
Okay. Should be on. The question was is whether you follow a graphite line. So I drew a piece of graphite. It didn't do anything until I put the solution on. It started following the line, went off of it a little bit, then picked back up on the line. On another piece, I have the line here. It followed the line partway, then it kept jumping back to the line as it went down there. So it does partially follow that graphite line.
Great.
Thank you.
All right.
And I was just trying to answer the question. So
Thank you, Trey. That's good to know.
That's what we're here for. Wow, man, this thing's clicking. We got a couple of folks checking out already, but I'll remind you again, it's coming up on 20 after the hour. If you want to save what's on the chat, go to the little square next to where you sign, where you enter chat. Square with 3 little dots. Click on it. You get a save chat thing. Then it's on your computer for you to check tonight if you wish to. See Glenn Dormack up. You're up, Glenn.
How are y'all tonight?
All right, sir.
I've got a piece of.
Back towards your face, Glenn. Back towards your face. Back it up a little bit. There, we can see it pretty good.
Okay. Well, I got a piece of. This is some cherry burl, and this first piece of burl I had turned, and what I did, I have the opening here, but the burl was on the side, attached to the side of the limb, and so I just tried to leave as much of everything as I could, and
it throws character in it, Glenn. It's really good.
Yeah, I like the way that looked.
Yeah, I like it. Nicely done.
Great.
Yeah, that is beautiful. I love the gap in there, the crack, I guess you'd call it. That's beautiful.
Yeah, because that was a opening between the burl and the limb here, and so I tried to leave as much. I was trying to go, and it was already starting to get thinner, and it was starting to move a little bit. So I left. It's just under a ½ inch thick wall, but I like the. It turned out pretty good. I put about 5 coats of spray lacquer.
Well, the finish is awesome. I like the whole piece is great. The finish is awesome.
Burlwood is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Like a
I
natural
love the
edge.
grain.
I love it. That is beautiful.
That's all I got.
All righty.
Looks great, Glenn.
Thanks.
Let's see. Cade, you're up next. Let me find you. Cade.
Right here. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's well. I've been keeping busy this week. I've turned a couple ornaments. You'll be able to see how many are hanging from my basement ceiling. To say the least, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in my basement. I'll take some photos. I can send you some, Eddie, for the newsletter.
Please.
But I'll do a quick span across all these ornaments here.
Wow.
Nice.
Nice.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yes, indeed. Love the coloring.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Then over here, we have some more.
Somebody's been busy.
Yeah. The finials and everything.
These are all turned solely using a skew.
Oh, wow.
All right. All right.
So we have.
I still have a
demonstrate
love-hate
the-
relationship with the skew.
You learned how to use it, didn't you, Cade?
I think
Yeah,
we have a
I
backup
did.
demo person named Cade.
Well, I will be doing a demo of this caliber solely with the skew for an event that's coming up called the Woodturners Retreat.
Is that a pay-per-view session?
Yes, it's being organized by Ronald G. Campbell and Martin Clarkson. And there's 6 demonstrators, 2 from the USA, 2 from Canada, and 2 from the UK.
I hate to cut you off, sir, but we don't do any more than that. If you'd like to put more information on how you register and get to it, please put it in the chat.
Okay, no problem.
That's
Thanks.
our non-alignment policy. But hey, I love those ornaments, man. Are you going to give them away, sell them? What you going to do?
I'm gonna sell them. There's actually a Christmas market coming up, so I've been actually practicing and whipping them all off for that. But it's also practice for an upcoming demo. So, and it's all about the skew.
All right, I appreciate you showing it. And that if that's all skew work, you are awesome. Anybody else wants to say
Yeah.
you are awesome?
Awesome.
Good stuff.
There are people that won't touch a skew that think it's really good for holding a door open or something like that. It is a very useful tool. You have to learn how to use it. And just juke it in there doesn't work.
I say it's a love-hate relationship.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, you
It
got
can
to
scare you early, scare people out of using it. So, but it is a great tool for getting a finish if you can take the time to practice and perfect it. I love it. In the beginning, I always used to resort back to my spindle gouge because I used to get catches and catches until one day I really forced myself to do everything I had to do that day with the skew until I was fully comfortable with it. And now I love it. It's one of my go-to tools.
Yeah, it's a beautiful tool to use. We keep saying this, so we can learn how to use it. Who you have up, Gain?
We got Joaquin.
Hey.
Okay. I love to turn finials, and we do these sea urchins. This is that phony baloney gold plating on the urchin. This is 3 inches long.
Well, there you go.
And I turn these with a 3/8 bow gouge. And I'm not set up to do a demo, but I would love to do a video and send a video in how I use it. Never put my fingers behind the thing or past the tool rest. And I use a 3/8 bow gouge, except for right in here, I'll go to my spindle gouge for that little detail there in the very end. And
So Joaquin, tell me about the phony baloney gold finish.
well, you know, that's what Eddie said.
I know, it looks great. I want to know all about it.
You know, it's
Hobby Lobby, right across from the green cards.
Is it
What do you-
called
what do you
leaf or what's
mean
it
by
called?
You don't put your fingers behind the rest. Is it,
what?
what do you mean by you don't put your fingers behind?
A lot of people put their finger behind behind this finial and
Okay.
hold it for support.
All right.
And Cindy does that, and I learned it from her. I've seen her do a bunch of this at SWAT, and I did it a couple of times, but just couldn't do it no more. And so I learned to do it with a 3/8 bow gouge, and it's very safe and very, very accurate for what I'm doing and how I'm doing it.
You're making slicing shearing cuts with that gouge, right, Joaquin?
Do what?
You're making slicing shearing cuts with that gouge?
Actually, I'm writing the top of it at about 10 o'clock, and I'm using the bow gouge like a stew on top.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's what I was asking. Okay.
Joaquin, before you get away, you made an offer to do us a video. We're going to take you up on that, sir.
Okay.
Do a video, send it to me. We'll get together on how to work it out. We will use that because it comes from a member of the team. Sir, thank you so much.
You bet. Okay.
All right.
All right, Chuck, you're up.
There he is. Chuck's with us. Hey, Chuck. Chuck, it's your turn.
Well, I'm muted. I got it. Sorry. How are you, buddy? So the love-hate with the skew, that's funny.
All right, Vlad.
What you got going on?
It's a
Me
matter
or
of.
Jason?
Go ahead, Chuck.
Oh, okay. All right, because Jason was in front of me.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the spotlight keeps flipping off on you. Hold on.
All right.
There you go.
Good. Okay. Yeah, it's funny that everybody's saying the love-hate with the skew. Like, I have that relationship too. I love it, but I hate when it catches, and I still get my fair share. But since the Christmas thing you guys been doing, I started doing these little snowmen, and this is what my daughter painted. I thought it was pretty cool. But the church down the street gives away stuff to kids around the holidays, so I started making these, and my daughters have been painting them. Made a little mini one today, and I've been using. I use the rough and gouge because these start out as square, and then I've been using just the skew to try to hone my skew skills, but I still get my catch, and then I got to take it a little bit smaller than I started. My intention. I tried to do some fractal burning on a piece, and that is that art form is super controversial. If you make a YouTube video of it, your comments will go nuts. I don't recommend it to anybody. My system don't look anything like is it Matt or Marty's, and so I never recommend it to anybody. It's super dangerous. But I did this out of a piece of cherry, and so it had way more smaller details, but these deep ones is where my probes were, and a couple of them burnt like super deep. Like one actually burned all the way through. And so I had to return it after I did it, and it got it took a lot of the fine. You'll get the little look like bonsai trees come out of them, and I ended up having to turn a lot of them, almost all of them, out because it was just too thick. But this is another piece of that. I got a bunch of cherry from widows at Nashville up at my buddy's house, and this was just like a piece that started out maybe this thick. It was a slice off the bark, and I think it turned out pretty cool. I like my bowls and plates don't look like a bowl that you would eat a bowl of cereal out of. I kind of like the stuff that looks a little abstract. I think it looks cool. But everybody else, man, the finials that you guys showed tonight, and ladies, sorry, are incredible. Like, that amazes me that you can get down to a 1/16 of an inch and that thing not break, because like I'm blowing pieces off of holes right and left, and I just move out of the way and keep going. So definitely awesome work on everything everybody showed tonight, and as usual, appreciate everybody's input on this meeting. It's great. And so all you veterans, thank you for your service to this country, because without you,
thank you.
Thank you all.
Without them, we wouldn't be a country. All right, it's a little bit after 8:30. Okay, here's the deal. We're supposed to go 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Okay, but people start talking before. In fact, I turned the button on at 6 o'clock tonight, and guys were talking and going on and on, turning, and what they'd like to do and questions they may have. So if you have that, you can join us at 6 o'clock. At 6:30, we turn the screens on. Then we start gallery and stuff. At 7 o'clock, I'd like to start the demonstrations. And then tonight, it worked out to run just about 8 o'clock or so. And then we had a lot of other input from members. We love that. And if you've got something that you want to on this channel while you're watching, if you have something you want to show that's a trinket, a gadget, an idea. I mean, what we just got from Doug Miller a few minutes ago on how to sense the bottom. You see, those things are out there, folks, and they work for most of us, and that's what we're here for. But I start off by telling you it's 8:30. By the original rules of the program, we should be saying bye-bye. We don't really have any rules. Last week it ran to about 9:30. I'm okay with that. In a little while, I'll blank out and y'all can just talk amongst each other. But I got to thank my co-hosts for all being involved tonight. A lot of them step up. Kane stepped up to do it. Martin stepped in. We had a handful of others that jumped in. I don't want to miss you, but I can't look at the list. But these folks are involved in the program and they helped us out. David does on our website and does an awesome job. And that's where you can find all the information we generate here is going to be there. And again, if you watch YouTube, search for Of Course, and you'll find our videos, and then subscribe. And you'll get all the stuff that we load up, or David loads up. I got to thank David for doing that. It's he does a great job. I'm still in the market for somebody to do finials. Now, we just got one lined up a few minutes ago. He's going to help.
Capinetti.
Pardon me?
Capinetti. I
Yes,
was
sir.
playing with finials last week. I don't know if y'all can see that.
Not yet. I'm coming. Okay.
Gotcha.
There you go. That's
I was just playing, just doing some experimenting. So
that's nice.
That's how you do it.
You understand proportions are critical, so that's good.
Yeah. So I one of the things that I work on is the transitions. So and this is something I noticed that Cindy does also. I can't really see. You know what? Let me switch this to the different. Hang on a second.
Hold it against your black toque. We'll be able to see it really clear.
Yeah, I'm going to switch to. I put some stuff away. So let me hang on.
Or against the sleeve of your shirt. Oh, there you go. It's perfect.
So this is about, I don't know, 6.5, 7 inches long. So, but one of the things that I notice that people do a lot is the transitions. You know, how do you get the transitions from one feature to the next? So I've been sort of like experimenting with that.
Cool.
So, at any rate,
I cheated a while back. I made a super thin parting tool that tapers down, which is hell to sharpen. But that'll get that little groove in there. But it's not supposed to be that way. I now have learned how to do it with a skew, and that makes a whole nother day.
And one of the things that Cindy has on her website is she's got these little let me go back over here. She has these tools that she makes. All right, hang on a second. But she makes these and a really thin spindle gouge. So like I have this spindle gouge that's got a really steep thing on it. Really steep bevel. And then she makes this vortex tool that I sort of like.
The vortex, that's what I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
That is one nifty tool.
But I also recut a skew. I had an old skew that I bought off of somebody like at a garage sale. So I call it my wicked skew. And I made it really thin to get into really tight, narrow places.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that works. I only use that on finials. So.
Thank you, Matt. We appreciate you sharing that.
Yep.
And
what's that ticking?
The audio a little bit. Okay. Just look at the chart. We got everything done. I got to mention again, if you want to save the chat, do so. And I've seen some things pop up. Who is Cindy? Cindy Drozda, D-R-O-D-Z-A, is a Turner, out of Colorado, and she's extremely good at teaching. Extremely good. We've invited her to join us. Don't know if she's taking us up on it. I can't see the membership list all the time. But she does very fine finials and the tools that go along with it. Okay. Speaking of that, I'm always in a market for folks to tell us where and when there are demonstrations that you tune in and watch. I watched the other day from a club in Texas, and it was an awesome demonstration. I called the guy. They use directors, not president, vice president, all that. I called the director and said, hey, we'd love to have part of that to use for our show. I was shocked when he said, members only. We're all here to share, folks. If your club does great videos and they put it online or make it available on YouTube or your website or whatever, send us the information. We'll put it on our website. So when you go looking for videos to watch and educational material, you have it. But I'm not going to advertise pay-per-view, not on the website or anywhere else. Well, you can put it in the chat. That's fine. That's fair. But remember, we're non-partisan. We're not partisan anybody at any time. All right. You got any
Eddie?
Sir.
On that note, I do have a complimentary demonstration coming up, and it's on turn a wig stand for your local cancer support center. I did put the link in the chat, and it's totally free. It's a complimentary demo I'm doing.
You know, that's like a follow through on the Beads of Courage program. You know, the Beads of Courage program is for children who are suffering from cancer, and as they go along, the people that need the wig program, think about this. They went through so much therapy, et cetera, that they need a wig. I do too, but not for that reason. But they need a wig, and a wig stand's a great addition. I like the one that we saw a little while ago, the little dip on it, because they also wear jewelry. They got to put a little bling on to make them feel good, and that's okay with me. if we can do something like that for the people that are in need, you're doing something in your shop to help you get along better, make things better, and it's nice. And remember, you give it away. You give it away. I get another one here. Thanks to all the veterans out there. Thank you again. Thank you. I'm a veteran. I've seen a couple of notes up here from other veterans. It was a learning experience that I could never have received anywhere else in my life. And I'm talking about all good. It taught me the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I wouldn't have got that anywhere else in my life, not even in my neighborhood. Okay, anybody up for gallery?
Yeah,
Well,
Eddie, can you find me? I
who are
can't get
you?
into chat, but if you can find me, I got some.
What's your name?
See me, Terry? You see my hand?
No.
I don't know why
Got
the
it.
phone won't let me
Got
get
it.
into chat. There you go. You got me.
Oh, you don't want to use that Galaxy number. Change your name. That way we find you.
I'll have to look at it.
Okay.
Okay. But thanks to all the veterans, of course, but Glenn brought a piece a few weeks ago and showed you of a piston box. And I decided I'd make one on his ideas.
Pull it back towards your face, sir. There you
It's
go.
a drum with a barrel, and it's a piston box. And a tech tip, if you decide to make one of these for a toothpick holder, make sure the toothpicks will fit. But I had a lot of fun doing it, and I thought it came out real nice. And so
barrel, huh?
Yeah, it's a barrel, and it's all one piece. It's a piece of, well, it's not. It's 3 pieces of scrap from the cabinet shop glued together to make the diameter, and then it's all just burned in there. The wood grain is burned in. And I made that one, and I was thinking I would do another one. So I started, and then I changed my engineering a little bit. And I just made a drum, another barrel, but instead of a piston box, I put a little twist to it, and I got a screw-on lid. I got a threaded lid that screws on.
You threaded it. You create those threads.
Yeah, I threaded it, and I lined up the burning with it, and then I put a little bong in the top of it just for looks. Then I thought it needed a spigot. Can you see the spigot?
There you go.
So I made a little spigot, and of course it wouldn't be good if you couldn't see it, so I made a little stand to put it in.
Perfect.
So
You need to put that on a dinner table at Thanksgiving to see how many people want to get something out of it.
it came out pretty nice. And actually the little valve turns.
Right.
I don't think you'll get much out of it.
That's awesome.
That is. That's beauty. What wood did you use?
The only other thing, I'm with Kim on making a finial. I ain't too good with them. But this is another one of those covered candy dishes that I made. And you can see my finial. It's okay, but I've never studied them a lot. I can do a lot of it with the skew. I can do it. My design probably lacks some, but I have to make it a little heavy for what it's doing. And I already made one and somebody dropped and broke it, so I don't like to get them too thin because it is made to be a usable candy dish. That's one I showed.
That looks great. That's a good proportion.
I'll trade you.
Nice job.
I'll trade your finial for mine.
Whole thing. I call it a Saturn candy dish.
Very nice.
Very nice, sir.
And it's mesquite.
Yeah, mesquite's wonderful to turn, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's about all I have is mesquite and dumpster fine.
Dumpster fine. That's good work. It was like FOG, found on ground. I used to sell some of my work in galleries, one particular gallery in your house. And I had to stop because they would call me and say, oh, you know that piece? Somebody broke it handling it because they wanted to see if it flexed. Or they picked it up wrong or didn't understand it. I have a request here. Can we do a demo on slicing? He tried to watch him from Mark Saleh and over and over, and he doesn't really understand it. So we will do one on slicing. And if I can get Mark Slade, he's not there. Get Mark Slade to offer to do it or do a little bit of one, we will. Because on all turning, that slicing technique works fine or great or better or well or whatever. And I think we picked up, Jeffrey said, Record Power is doing free videos, email with subject. Oh yeah, I saw that Record Power one a couple of days ago. That's really good. It really is. I try not to miss these don't pay for videos that when they're on the web. Anybody else up, Cade?
Yeah, this knucklehead out in Arizona.
Ah, the knucklehead's back. Okay.
All right. So I don't have any finish on these other than my 70-30 gold linseed oil mix. So let me flip the camera around. Or maybe not. So this one, and this one is salted elm. And I'll have one-piece knobs. So here's a mesquite. And here's a mesquite that's been textured and collared.
Now those bowls and the flange bases are all one piece, correct?
That is all one piece. It starts with this perfect square block. And then here's a piece of red elm. However, I'd call it black and white elm. Got a little bit of bug poop in them. Still got to make the lid for it. And then here's a salted red maple that I'm working on. I got the finial on the lathe. There you go, Tim. It's a tiny one. But it's to be dyed. This is to be dyed green, and the customer wanted a black finial. So, but yeah, these are all one piece. It's a knuckle catcher if you're not paying attention to what you're doing.
Yeah. Been there.
We have to get your rough one in one day just to see your fingers fly.
But I think I've got one more to make on this current run, and I'm going to try and make a video that we can put out there and let everybody see on how I do it and what tools are used. So
we'd like to see. We really would like to see that. That's a unique piece.
Mm-hmm.
I
call them a jewelry caddy. The women really seem to like them, having them in the kitchen on the kitchen counter. You know, be able to take the rings off and chuck it in on the dish portion, or put it inside the vessel, and or you know the dresser in the bedroom or on the nightstand. You know, for putting medicine in or jewelry, whichever. You know, so but they seem to be a hit. About 10 years ago, I used to supply a shop up in Sedona with them, and it just got to the point that they wanted so many, and then we had issues, so I stopped supplying them up there. But it's a hit.
It is. It's a beautiful piece.
It's different because it's square, and then you got round, and you know, and then everybody's like, "Well, if you turn it on a lathe, how do you do that with a square piece and keep it square?" And I'm like, "Oh, very carefully."
Yeah, it's an art I can't show you.
Right? Yeah, you know, and of course, I made a post about it a week ago, but that's one of these is how I sliced the end of my finger open, because I was sanding up on top, and my pinky finger drifted up, and it caught that edge, you know, 300 RPMs, and put a nice slice on there, but nothing a little CA couldn't handle. But put the skin back together, it's good to go now.
I saw a piece like that out of a spalted maple at a club meeting up in Washington, D.C. And I watched the guy stand there trying to untwist it to see if the bottom would come off.
Yes, it's funny. I've seen people do that when they pick it up, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't come off.
Yeah.
It's all one piece. So.
All right.
Part of why we do what we do is to get that amazement factor in the customers.
Right. Get that. How do you do that?
Yeah, even better when we do it to ourselves after we make something.
Yeah, true.
What's it worth if you don't get the wow? So,
Right.
thank you. All right. It's
Plan
coming
on
up
finishing them in either tongue oil or wipe on poly. So,
Okay.
like
I
the
got-
Super League, but can't get a consistent finish with CA on it.
All right. In our chat tonight, Wayne Clasper does a free demo on YouTube Monday and Friday, 8 a.m. and Wednesday at 3 p.m. And that came from one of our team members. We appreciate that. That's what the chat is about, to share it with folks. Anybody else up to see them? I can't, my light's going out. I'm probably going to put it on auto and you can chat amongst each other. Remember, you have to be kind. You have to be nice. Nice and kind go together. No politics, no religion, and no vulgarity. We're not one of those reality shows on television. We know who we're talking to, and they're all human. So, all right, with that.
Eddie, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You know, Record Power is doing this demo like every Friday with Theo from Australia. Are any of y'all watching that? It's free.
Oh, I watched. I mentioned a minute ago. It's on really good.
Now, there's about 400 people last week.
Yeah,
I heard about it.
on our
People were talking about it.
But I could send you an email. I've got to send his email out, and all you got to do is RSVP.
Mike at
You're on the list.
recordpower.co.uk, and that's in our chat tonight.
Okay.
So, but it's really a good show, really.
Yeah, he's doing a yo-yo this week, and it's pretty neat the way he does that yo-yo and hold it.
All right. Well, folks, with that, keep chatting. I'm going to say goodnight. I'll be in the background listening, but my light's failing, and you'll all have something to talk about. It'll go on until you stop talking, and then I'll turn the button off. With that, thank you so much for inviting me into your home this evening. I hope you turn well and you be safe. And it's all about making shavers and having fun. Thank you, folks.
Thanks, Eddie. Good night.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you.
Good night,
Happy
everybody.
Veterans Day to everyone.
Yes, and thank you to all the veterans.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah,
It was
that
great.
record demo.
I'm gonna head out, guys. Thanks. It was a great night.
Hey, Matt.
See you, Matt. Bye, Matt.
I remembered what I wanted to ask you.
Oh, okay.
You know, y'all got those Russian the knives?
The lathe
Russian lathe
knives.
knife?
Yeah, yeah.
How did they work out?
I the ones we ordered from that guy in the UK who was selling them on Etsy, I mean, they work all right, but they're not what I wanted. And I have not been able to get them anywhere else. Don Doyle, Mr. Rubber Chucky, his son makes knives, and he gave me a bunch of rejected knife blanks. I'm going to try and make my own.
Cade got one. He ordered one.
Yeah.
Where'd
I
you-
got
where'd you get-
mine from Martin Clarkson, who knows a guy in Hungary who hand forges them himself.
Yeah.
And
Are
yeah,
they,
I
does
bought
he
it.
still have some of those available? Do you know?
I'm not sure. When he got home the first time around, when he went to Hungary, he brought a whole bunch back, and I quickly sent him a message saying I wanted one. And you could get it handled or not